do you guys have any concerns? Because, I'm sure you guys have heard things. So do you guys have any concerns? Are you like believing any of that? Do you?
Jordan and I can go on and on about the things that we
every day we got some concerns.
Oh, not a Howard.
So thank you guys for being here today. We have Jordan and we have Aminah. So Jordan, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan. I'm from Washington, D.C. For undergrad, I went to UCLA and I just graduated like a week or so ago. So I'm super excited. And in the fall, I'll be going to Howard.
Jordan, you have your own YouTube channel. Do you want to?
Yes, I have a YouTube. Thank you for the plug. I do have my YouTube channel. It's Jor Wish, so Jor and then Wish. So yeah, subscribe to me there. And that's my Instagram as well.
Okay. Aminah?
My name is Aminah, everybody. I am from the Bay Area. I went to UC Davis for undergrad. After undergrad, I actually worked for about a year and a half and then decided to apply. And I am also going to Howard in the fall. So.
Okay. So I guess we'll start at the very beginning. So you already talked about like your undergrad and all of that. So the next question I have is, do you guys want to share your LSAT and GPA? Okay. Aminah?
So I'll go first. So I was technically a splitter. I had a 3.0. It was like a 3.07 because I was a heavy science major, did like physics and OChem and all of that. Destroyed my GPA, but I had a 163 LSAT. And so that helped me a lot.
Okay, so I'm kind of the opposite. My GPA was a 3.8, so 3.8, and my LSAT was a 151.
Okay. And so when did you guys apply to school?
So I'll just take this one first. I applied to 10 schools. I told myself was my max. And I finished my applications. I think my last letter of recommendation, which completed my application, came in early February. So which is really, really late, considering the applications open in September. I think September. Yeah. So yeah, I submitted everything pretty late.
Okay. Jordan?
I submitted my first application. It was like Martin Luther King weekend, so I think like January 20th. My first one was to Howard. And I tell people I applied to 4 schools because I knew I wanted to go to law school in DC, so there's like 4 big law schools in DC. But I technically applied to 6, but they weren't really applications. Like it was just those, those schools I just email you and I just click yes. So yeah.
Okay. So then was Howard the only like HBCU that you applied to then, Jordan? Because the other schools aren't.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what about you, Aminah?
Yeah, same. It was just Howard.
Okay. So what made you guys only apply to Howard then, like out of all the other options for HBCUs?
Jordan, you want to go first?
Sure. Well, Howard, okay. I think mine is just like, Howard is the only HBCU I was familiar with. And I feel like me with schools, this may sound, I don't know, not everyone agrees with this, but I'm very much so like a name brand person, like a name person. Like I really like when people have heard of the school that I went to, which doesn't really make sense, but that's just me. And so I knew like Howard had a name for itself, and yeah, and also location was big in DC, so that's also big.
Okay.
For me, I actually when I applied, I wasn't intending to move out of California, and there were only a few schools that I would have been willing to move for, and that was like NYU, Columbia, and Howard. Those are the only schools outside of California that I applied to, and when Howard came in, it just felt right. But we'll go into that.
Okay. So was it scholarships? Was it like what made you ultimately say, okay, no, I'm going to Howard?
Yeah, so I didn't get into Columbia. I'll be very upfront about that. I was waitlisted at NYU, But all the California schools that I got into, I did get scholarships from as well. But what actually made me choose Howard was meeting a few people who had also gotten in at the same time. It was a couple things. Meeting people and connecting with my future classmates. And also, I talked to a lot of older Black lawyers, and they all were like, don't underestimate Howard. If I were in your position, I'd probably go to Howard. Howard has a great network. Howard has a great curriculum. I know these professors at Howard. I work with this one lawyer, and she's a badass, and you know, she went to Howard. And so it was like, there's a lot of hyping it up from the community, and that mixed with talking to people who I'd be going to school with for the next 3 years, it was like, maybe I've been overlooking Howard, because I just kind of like threw an application there because it was Howard, and I was kind of interested but wasn't trying to move. And then I got this like rush of enthusiasm from other people, and I was like, maybe I was tripping. Maybe I should really, you know, look more into it. And when I did, it was obvious. So
Okay.
Yeah, our group chat is lit, huh?
lit.
For me, okay, so like I said, I'm born and raised in Washington, D.C. I actually went to Howard's daycare. So from the age of like 6 months, I was at Howard. My dad, he went to Howard for grad school. He taught at Howard for like 10 years and worked there for like 20 years. So growing up, I was just like, I want to go anywhere but Howard. Like, I was just like, you know, you grow up around something, DC is small. I'm just like, okay, I need to get out. So that's why I went far, far, far to UCLA undergrad for part of the reason. And then, you know, I just kind of, while I was studying for the LSAT is when I really got real of where I wanted to go. I started thinking about location, atmosphere, because I had been like the only Black person in spaces for the majority of my life. And it's sad because I'm growing up in DC. DC has a bunch of Black people, you know, plenty of Black people, but, you know, not in these like elite institutions. And that's where I went to school for the most part. So I kind of just wanted the opportunity to go to an HBCU. Both my parents went to HBCUs. They're like big enthusiasts of it. And it's really funny that I ended up at Howard because, like I said, for the longest time, my parents were in my ear about it. And I was just like, no, that's literally like down the street, like, no. But here we are. I just had like, I was just tired of like the microaggressions all my life. And I knew that, you know, at some point I did kind of want the HBCU experience. And I'm like, this is my last chance to just get that. And when I was studying for the LSAT, I was studying so hard, like beating myself up about it. My score was going up and down, up and down. And then I was like, okay, like, what am I getting this score for? Like, I was studying with no school in mind. And then I was like, you know, if I were to get into a Harvard or Yale, would I want to go? I thought about this not long. I mean, I'm impulsive, okay? So I thought about it for like maybe a day. And I was just like, no, like, I know what that environment is like. That's kind of like the environment my high school was, just like super competitive, super just not like what I wanted out of a school. And I knew like law school is already crazy. The people in law school are already crazy and competitive. And I was just like, you know, community is what I really want at this time of life. I thought about the people I wanted to be around, where I wanted to live. Also, I think that's like a big thing. I knew I wanted to live in DC, and I heard that you should go to law school where you ultimately want to live or close to, or not somewhere you want to live. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. But if not somewhere you want to live, just a place that can give you like that reach. And I feel like a name brand school can give you that reach, and DC can give you like out like big major cities can give you that outreach, like wherever you want to live. Yeah. And then I feel like now, after everything that has happened in the world, I definitely need to be around some Black people because no.
Yeah. Okay. So with that though, do you guys have any concerns? Because, you know, I'm sure you guys have heard things. So do you guys have any concerns? Are you like believing any of that? Do you know?
Jordan and I can go on and on about the things that we
every day we got some concerns.
Going out of Howard. But yes. So short answer, yes, there are concerns. There are concerns about, for me, I have concerns because I do want to practice in California. And just like Jordan said, you should go to a law school where you want to practice. But I have a large network out here. And even though no one in my family are lawyers. I know a lot of lawyers from the work that I've done and my family's done. So I was, encouraged to go despite that because I could, hustle and make it up. So that's a worry for me. And also, Howard is very underfunded. It doesn't get the funding that it needs and, one would say deserves from the federal government. And it's been like that for a long time. And so you're out there competing with law schools that have more resources, more smaller class sizes or just better outreach because they have more money to do that. And so, that's a concern. Like the legal field is so competitive. You're really like up against other people, especially from higher ranked schools or schools with more money. So that's where the Howard Network comes in. It's if we don't have the money, we do have the people, we have the love, we have the community. So that kind of makes it up. And then of course Howard is notorious, at least among people who went there, for being disorganized. Just the administration, and that also I think speaks to the underfundedness of it. They need more money, need more staff, need more people. But if this many people have made it and been successful, then I know I can just based on who I am. So
yeah, similar to Aminah, there's a lot of administrative issues, and as I expressed that, like all my other friends are like, yeah, welcome to HBCU, like da da da. And I'm over here like, But I think I'm just also kind of spoiled because, we're coming from like UCLA, like that's like big. UC, like California schools, they have money, period. They're on their stuff. Big public school, rich area. They're like, I was just shocked when like we had to pay our seat deposit or whatever they call it. And I couldn't just type in my credit card information and just pay it. Like I had to like actually send a check. Like I'm not really a check person. Like I didn't know how to even do that. Thank goodness I got a cashier's check because some people, they still haven't taken the money. I'm like, I know you can wait 6 months, but do you want to wait 6 months to get someone's deposit? What? So then when you send the deposit, you send something, you don't always get a confirmation. And like, thank goodness, also I should mention, like my dad worked at the law school. So like, thank goodness, like he still knows people there. Cause I'm over here, I think that gives me some sort of relief because sometimes I hear back from them than when I hear from the actual people who are like supposed to be contacting me. So definitely administrative issues, but really, I think like the old me would have been super stressed if this was an undergrad, but because it's a law school, because it's a way smaller environment, that's why my patience is like, I'm willing to put up with it. Cause I'm like, all right, there's only like 160 of us. I'm used to having 10,000 people just in my year period. So now I feel like, you gonna know me and you can try to ignore this, but I know I can find you and you can't ignore me for long. So yeah, that's what kind of weighs out the administrative stuff. Of course, now with Corona and everything, I'm concerned. I think everyone's concerned, but I can't even really do anything about that for now. And I'm also concerned about the grading because I heard like a lot. Okay, when I worked at, basically I was like going through a lot of law school students, what is it called, transcripts for this other place I worked, and I could like calculate a law school GPA like that. And I know a lot of schools like Georgetown, Harvard, like basically like the lowest grade you can get isn't really that bad. I think it might be like a B- or a B, something like that. Like the grades are really inflated versus Howard. I'm pretty sure we could like fail or like get a C. And like my friend who went there, she was just like, but like people know that, we have that sort of curve or whatever. But I'm like, do they really? Like, if someone sees a C, like it's not equal to like someone else's, it might be like a B-. So that's another concern I have of mine is like the grading scale.
Okay. So with that they have like slow administration, were you guys able to negotiate your scholarship or did you try? Okay. All right.
So I got a story with this. No, basically Howard doesn't negotiate any scholarships unless you have like a new score, or if you're still in school, your spring semester grades come out and it raises your GPA much higher. But once you get that scholarship, it's non-negotiable. And I believe all scholarships, Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong, are conditional as well, because they only have the funds to give scholarships to like the top 50, or to 50% of the class. So half the class isn't even getting scholarships. Mm-hmm. And so the expectation is that you remain at the top 50% of the class to keep the scholarship. Since there's only 50% of people who are getting it, you should stay in that 50%. But that's scary because you don't know what could happen. Life can happen, especially with COVID. You could get sick, and or a family member could get sick, and so that was very scary. And I sent an email to the dean of admissions, basically lining these things out. I would like an increase in my scholarship, or I would like this scholarship condition, just completely taken away, or even just like notched down, top 75%, top 60%, something like that. Not 5 minutes later, I get a personal call from the dean. He's like, yeah, so let me walk you through exactly why I can't do any of that. He didn't say that, but that's what he meant. And he is a very good talker, really nice guy, very good talker, as Jordan knows. And at a certain point, I had to stop him and be like, so is that like a for real, like, no, like there's no room on that? And he was like, yeah, no. He definitely did stress the return on investment, which I want to stress to everyone watching this. But
that's his favorite phrase.
It's his favorite. That's the running joke of the class. But I don't know how other HBCU law schools work, but Howard, because it's underfunded, it doesn't even receive state funding like other HBCU would, because it's not in a state, which is also an issue. So yeah, it's they're very, very strict on that, very, very strict on non-negotiating scholarships.
Okay, but you guys think the scholarships were fair?
I
honestly didn't think I was going to get a scholarship. Because my LSAT score to me was like pretty low. Like I knew my goal was to just get, I like had a really rough day for the LSAT because my proctors like messed up and we took it like 2 to 3 hours later than we were supposed to. So I was just over it. And I was just like, okay, like even though I'm testing in like the 160s area, I was just like, if Lord Jesus, please, if I can just get above a 150, just above a 150, then I know I can at least get in. At this point, I was done with trying to get scholarships. I was just like, I just need to get in. And then when I got more than that, I was like, oh, I got like the Holy Ghost. But yeah, I didn't think, but then I tried to get more, and like Aminah said, it was shot down. So
yeah, I think my scholarship is fair. If you just look at like numerical value, I got more from other schools, but Howard's tuition is also very low, and so it ended up being more than any other school gave me. So like I said, I talked to a lot of Black lawyers, and I just want to say most of them did not go to Howard. They all went to California schools because I'm in California. And 2 of them were deans of law schools as well. One is currently the dean at a school in the East, and the other retired from being a dean at a law school in the West. And they both said that the law is inherently racist against Black people and people of color. And there are times in the classroom when things can get very dicey, and obviously, Black people have gotten through it. Who did not go to HBCUs. These are things that just come up all the time anyway, whether in your law school or not. But they said that there was something really, really special about being in a learning environment where you can tackle those issues without feeling like all eyes are on you, or you're the token in the classroom, or you feel like people only think that you're there because of affirmative action. Like there's something special about not having to deal with that and actually focusing on the issues at hand, the facts of the case or the statute or whatever. And that was the thing that wasn't to be underestimated. It's the experience of being around people who look like you, and also being at an institution that its primary goal is to advance people of color. So even if, because there are white people who go to HBCU law schools, right? And it's being at the institution where they focus on these things, focus on advancing, the people who are historically and systematically oppressed, that pushes everybody forward. It's not just for Black people, it's for everyone who goes there. And so that was what I wanted.
Okay. What type of law do you want to practice? I mean,
I was originally very interested in criminal law. That's something that I'm working on now at my job. But I'm definitely open to other types of law, like labor law. Everyone talks about going into big law to pay off loans and stuff, but super interested in criminal, super interested in labor, and maybe privacy. I've thought about that as well.
okay. Jordan?
And civil rights law.
I'm also not too sure. Right now, I think, yeah, like I'm interested in civil rights law. I'm interested in criminal and also like low-key entertainment, but I'm not sure yet. And then, yeah, I am kind of like that person that kind of wants to do big law at first because I am in debt. So, yeah.
Okay, so what do you hope to gain, like, overall from your law school experience? Like, what's the top things for you?
For me, I think, I don't know, I just want to be an expert. Like, I want to be awesome at the law. I want to be able to enact policies, become a legislator eventually, write policies that can benefit large groups of people. Something about the law is when, depending on what you do, a lot of times you're only helping a small group of people or an individual person, unless you're doing like a large class action or something like that. But I would love to do some larger change. But mostly to the criminal justice system, and I'm very interested in reparations and all that. So that's my goal.
Okay, Jordan?
I'm there really for the experience. I know it's not probably what you're supposed to say, but I'm there to just like experience everyone around me. So it's going to be hard to do that virtually, but I'm there for that. Like I feel like law school, even undergrad, I feel like you kind of, there's one law, like you learn it, and yeah, I think it's just like, for me, it's just more so the environment that I'm going to learn it in. It's like I am about to know at least 160 Black lawyers. Like, what? Like, that's going to be crazy. And I'm there for that, if that makes sense. Like, I'm confident that wherever I went to school, I would know the law fine. I would be able to do like what I wanted to do, period. But I'm there for like the environment. I'm there to like learn from Black people, because I can tell you, I can probably count the number of Black teachers in my whole life probably on one hand. Like, and that's so sad, so I'm excited to move on to this hand and get other hands in. So yeah, that's why I'm there.
Well, I don't have any other questions. Is there anything else, like, in general, you guys wanted to share?
So I will say that I have heard this, that a lot of, not necessarily even only Black people that I've talked to that are lawyers, but like even like firms and stuff, they say like, oh yeah, we get our Black people from Howard. We get our Black people from Howard. We get our Black people from Howard. So that's like a thing. And I think like, I can't speak for other HBCUs, but like this is what I've heard, I'm not even there yet, but that like all the same big top firms that will go to like the top T14 schools or whatever, they still do come to Howard. And like when they go there, they're there on a mission. It is to hire us. So not to say that when you go to those top schools, they're still probably not going to choose Black people from there. Like that's probably not the case either, but I think it is like just nice to know that like even though you don't go to like the number one law school, the same top 5 law firms are going to come to you just because you go to Howard, So I think that's good. But I will say that if you don't have patience for like the smallest administrative things, and you don't have your finances in order, because we have heard some horror stories of people not being able to eat, then I would say don't come to Howard, because it can already be stressful. But if you're into it for, the community, and you're tired of people touching your hair and calling you sassy and all these other microaggressions, which honestly, after I thought about it, like there are also some Black people who can participate in things like that as well. But I have more patience for Black people at this point. So if you've reached your breaking point, come on over.
That's what you said.
Last thoughts for me, I guess, is just to not underestimate the environment that you want. I'm not going to say it should be the most important part of your decision, but if you, like both Jordan and I don't know about you, Latasia, but came from PWIs. Yes. Yeah. And so like we can succeed in those environments for sure, but this decision is super personal and like for me, I knew that I could get a good education at Howard. I would never sacrifice my education, for anything, but it's a very personal experience and a personal choice, and this is what I wanted. And I didn't know that I wanted it until I kind of got that experience of talking to people and hearing their stories about it. And so just, be open.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you both for being here. I definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is going to be a great video.